Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I represent the transaction banking part of the business at Deutsche Bank and looking after both institutional and corporate payments as well. I'm also a part of the overall program that looking across the whole of our organization as to how we're going to deal with PSD2. So let me first say, in terms of overall points, we see PSD2 as being landscape changing. We also are not scared as a bank of PSD2. We see huge opportunities, both in terms of working with fintechs. We have, I think, a very public digital strategy where we are looking to really expand in that space. And we ourselves are considering the types of services we're looking to offer into this space. We think, therefore, the intention of PSD2 is absolutely right in that it's going to drive new competition among all parties and new parties within the payments landscape. However, one thing we have to highlight, as a bank, our first priority has to be the safety and security of our customers and the accounts that they hold with us, and the activities they do and the data that they put through those accounts. And nothing should be compromised in that space. It's absolutely critical. And I agree with many of the other statements and comments. We want to create innovation, but we have to make sure that piece works. And if one message you take away today from my update is that. So what of the consultation itself? I think in terms of the first thing I'd like to say is, as someone who works more in the corporate space, PSD2 doesn't really focus on, and these particular technical standards, on corporate payments. They are effectively captured. We can have potentially thousands of multi-million euro payments going through across our books and across the payment system that we process every single day. Our concern is within the RTS is that the types of secure customer authentication that are covered are just not suitable for those types of payments. We have host-to-host setups with our corporate customers today. We have built into that technical means of ensuring security, but also straight-through processing. We cannot afford to have payments being held up as a result of this intervention in this particular way. I think the second aspect is what is the payment initiation service providers going to be in the corporate space? They are potentially open to using these types of providers, and we have concerns in this space that if they were to use those, will there be sufficient insurance, for example, in place with the PISPs in place in order to do that? You're shaking your head, but it's not out of the bounds of scope that's the case, and we need to consider it. As payment as the industry innovates, we will see more potential demand in this. I think then the second aspect, and it's been touched upon here, is around two-factor authentication as well. We also see even in the retail side, we see the restrictive nature of those, prescriptive nature, and I think many of the people on the panel have already highlighted that we shouldn't be prescriptive. It should be about risk-based principles. We do need to be able to future-proof that into the future as innovation changes. Thirdly, the roles of PISPs and account information service providers. It's critical for us as banks that we're able to trust in those providers if they're going to be able to access the bank accounts of our customers. Therefore, not part of this RTS, but I think equally important is that database, that centralized database of authorized payment providers. We need to be able to see that that's real time. We need to be able to have access to that well before this goes live, or as this goes live, in order for us to be able to cover off our risk in this space. The other question we would have around PISPs is, from their point of view, what information are they obliged to provide us? If we are doing have to do our risk monitoring, we need potentially information from them in terms of how they are making, in terms of the trends that they are seeing, or the information that they have at the front end, for us to be able to then do the fraud activity or fraud checks that we have. Bear in mind, ultimately, we are liable as the first point before we can come back to the PISP to push back upon them. I'm going to, one final point, the standardized API aspect. We absolutely agree that there should be a standardized API approach across Europe. We do not want to be having to develop multiple means. We operate in many countries across Europe and the world, and having to develop in multiple ways to meet, let's be fair, our customers who come the other way and will be asking for our third-party providers to access. We need to be, I think having a standard is the right way to go, and as an industry we need to come together on that. So let me finish by simply saying, we see a huge opportunity in this regulation. We think there are some areas that need to be tweaked. There are some areas we definitely need to clarify around the corporate space and cover off on. But we have other points that we will be feeding in on our consultation too, but those are the main points. Thank you.